Okay, this is what I have done. I've taken 1¼ inch, and I believe they call this 100 gauge. Well, I don't think it's 100 gauge. They just called it 100 square metal stock. And what that will do is that will slide. If you have the burrs out of it, will slide over 1 inch square stock. Okay, so what I did then is I took this, which is a 1 inch square, and I cut one end out of it. First I drilled a couple of holes through and through, and then cut one end out of it, ground it all down. Same with this. I've also cut a piece of I believe that's 1½ inch, it could be 2 inch flat stock, rounded it, drilled a ½ inch hole in it, then cut 3/4 inch square stock, cut the edges. So how this is going to go is that will go on like this, this like this, and it all gets welded together. So one on each side. So what that means then is that I can undo this bolt up in here, pull the two bolts that will be down here and here, and this whole thing will lift off. This is just going to give this stability, rigidity, just basically more stability. It's going to be probably a lot of torque on this thing. So that's where we're at this point. Show you once it's all welded. Okay, I'll show you where I'm at right now. There is the completed piece. So basically what happens, goes in here, over top of that bolt. Just going to put the camera down here. So I don't know if you can see that. Bolt basically comes up through there. There. That goes on there. Bob's your uncle. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, these holes are, I'm going to drill through while I've got everything here where it should be. Drill through those holes, and then that gives me a solid place to fasten everything here together. So I will do that. Okay, holes are drilled in there. Now I've welded a piece of 1 inch tube onto the top of this. So the welds are getting better. Not quite as bad. A little bit of hair in there, but not too bad actually. That one's a good one. Happy about that one. So, but anyways, going to grind that down, and then I'm going to drill some holes between that and my 1 inch. 1¼ inch actually, which is this. And this slides on over top like that. Okay. Okay, so this other piece has been cut, and basically what I did is I cut it a little long. You can see it's a little longer than the welded on piece, and I just basically drilled right through both pieces on the drill press. So holes go right the way through, and then this can slide off and then go on like that. Okay, there's the meat and bones of it so far. This is the back, this is the front, this will spin like this. And right now I can spin, well, basically 90 degrees. I probably won't need that much, but it's there if I need it. You know, if I'm only spinning this much, that's fine. So I welded a piece on here, give it some structural integrity. Still hot. Pieces are going to be bolted on from out here, 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 and here to give it stability when it's running. One of the pneumatic cylinders will be mounted back here to drive this back and forth. And then this is the tower onto which the actual 4-bar mechanism will be attached. And it will, of course, be removable. Here's one of the clamps that I'm making, or one of the, not one of the clamps, but the brackets. The clevis, I guess, is what it would be called for the cylinder here. So as you can see, hole through there, and it's just a little larger than the clevis. That's going to allow it a little bit of play. So what I'm going to do here is tack it and check for square, and then weld the whole thing. And then that is going to be welded onto the rear brace of that. There it is, cut and trimmed. Bolts are getting better. Still going to grind them down, but yeah, they're getting better. Sometimes it's still a work in progress, as welding is. Welding is definitely an art form. Okay, so now what I've done is I've taken a piece of angle iron and I've tack welded it, and it took me a couple of shots here to get the proper angle, but tack welded it here, tack welded this bar onto it, and then played with this length here and this angle until I've got something that is free moving. Just to show you, it will completely extend and completely retract, and I'm getting the most amount of travel. You can see up here, see where I'm just about to connect on that side, and then when I come over, I'm just about to connect on that side. So that's giving me the maximum amount of travel in this. So now I'm just going to weld it all up. Okay, so here is where we are at with this so far. That right now stands 5 feet tall. I'm 5'10", so 5 feet tall. Here to the front. So what it's going to do, right now I only have this bolted onto the bottom. The reason for that is I am not sure about my heights yet. Still have to build the rest of the 4-bar for this. Not sure if this height is going to be manageable. I am going to have feet that are coming out on both sides here, but I'm just not sure if this height is going to be manageable for what I want to do. So it is not solid right now. But just to show you the movement that's going to occur, remember the 4-bar is coming up this way. that is the movement that it will have. Just to show you again from the bottom here, the movement. I wasn't sure about this cylinder here. I'm not sure if it was going to have enough oomph to move that, but that doesn't feel like there's very much weight on it at all. Maybe totally different when I have, you know, a 4-bar that's 7 feet long on here, but I don't think so. So there it is up to this point. That right now is ready for paint, so I will probably go ahead and do that.